I hope everybody enjoys this background that I have prepared. So, I let's just jump right in. I don't have really much to say about this particular movie that I'm about to head out to watch. Not because I'm at a loss for words. It's because, well, I mean, what can I say? The premise is pretty straightforward. What do you have? A cursed monkey drummer toy that kills people in Final Destination ways. That's, I mean, it's a quirky kind of premise. And hey, if there's one thing that I always look for, it's out of the box thinking, out of the ordinary types of films that we can enjoy. Because I mean, if I'm being honest, we really don't get a lot of those. Anyway, I'm not, admittedly, the biggest horror comedy fan. I always find that it invariably favors comedy and usually that slapstick kind of variety. And no one ever really balances the two genres or tones. And I can assure you, if you are watching this, never in your life have you been afraid to go to sleep at night after watching a horror comedy. You know what I mean? Regardless, from the trailer, I just decided to go with it. And if I'm being honest, in the realm of killer doll movies, especially the ones we've gotten recently, I mean, can it honestly do worse than an entire trilogy of Annabelle movies or Megan? Methinks not. In fact, me hopes not, because I really can't endure much more of that crap that we've been getting in that particular genre. Therefore, I'm willing to give this one a chance. Now, having said that, minor reservation here. I believe that the involvement of James Wan is absolutely is of concern to me, and it should absolutely be concern to moviegoers. I mean, let's just look at this guy's track record as of late. He's had Insidious Chapter 2 and especially Methrigan and Malignant. Oof, man. James Wan, whatever accolades people want to throw atop his name, I'm sorry. This guy does not know how to funny. So again, he's just as a producer. He didn't write this movie. He's not the director, so hopefully he can't do too much damage, but let's hope that his involvement wasn't too much within the tone of the movie. Now, as is always the case, the media tends to hide the failures of their media darlings, and James Wan is coming off his third straight TV show cancellation with that teacup show on, what was it? Peacock, that was just recently axed after just one season. Now, look, I understand we're talking about this movie, not his past work or his most recent failures, but I hope you see where I'm going with this. While I haven't seen Longlegs yet, this movie has the same director, and Longlegs at least looked intriguing. So once again, I'm cautiously optimistic for The Monkey. I think that Karen that played She-Hulk plays that woman in the trailer who's screaming for bloody murder, so that's a plus that it has going for it. For those not in the know, and I'll admit, even I myself wasn't aware of this until after watching the trailer, but this movie is based off of a short story by Stephen King from 1980. The premise is pretty much identical to the movie, and I hope that they don't try to explain the origins of the monkey or the curse, because unless they got a killer hook, no pun intended, it just gets into that realm of kind of killing time, no pun intended, padding out the film and really not offering anything particularly interesting. So, I don't always subscribe to, if you don't know the backstory of whatever it is, whatever subject matter is being discussed, it's more scary. Not if you have a scary backstory, just saying. But in this particular case, look, I'm willing to just go with it because, all right, it's a cursed killer toy. I think that's fine enough, and I don't see the need to explain the backstory. So why bother? I am optimistic about this one, all things considered. I'm expecting over-the-top gory deaths, elaborate death traps, the likes of Mousetrap, the board game. And, man, I'm shooting straight from the hip with you guys. After Wolfman, Companion, and Heart Eyes from a week or two ago, all failing to make a dent at the box office, 2 months into 2025, I think that horror could use a win. I realize that this is an adaptation and one with some name brand recognition, even if the Stephen King brand has had more L's than wins, especially recently. But we can use something new in horror. And the best that I can say is that this isn't the remake. This isn't a part 12. This isn't a property, an IP that we have recently had familiarity with, that we're familiar with the story, that it's been done to death, that there's no excitement around it. I can at least say that there are some horror fans that do enjoy their horror comedies. So therefore, I'm willing to give this a shot. I'm willing to give this a chance. And I'm optimistic for that, not just because this is something new, but I'm willing to at least believe that the death scenes will be creative. And look, I'm not a gore hound as much as I'm not a horror comedy fan. I'm not a gore hound. I don't need buckets of blood in my movies. And again, I think that there's a level of passion, of creativity. This does have the director of Long Legs, which I will be watching this weekend, ironically enough, now that it's available for at long last on streaming. But I think we had something here. I think that there's some level of passion, creativity, and I'm rooting for this film for those reasons alone. So, this was a really short one, obviously. I do ask that you catch my Aftershock episode that I will post once I'm fresh back from the theater for my reaction video. Therefore, you get my fresh impressions straight after watching the movie. Therefore, I've been Inkarnate, and I ain't just a big deal, I'm the real deal.
If you're resigned to your fate, time to subscribe to your fears.
Come and play with us. Forever and ever. Are you talking about the monsters?
Monsters?